Hey guys, tonight we journey back to the edge of extinction 10 million years ago, not to smartphones or cities or even fire. Tonight we go back to a time when our ancestors were barely clinging to existence. A time when one bad season, one wrong turn, one unlucky encounter could have ended the human story before it ever really began. You are one of the last, a member of a species teetering on the brink, and honestly the odds aren't in your favor. So before we start, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're here, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from tonight and what time is it there? Now, dim the lights. Maybe put on some headphones for that immersive feeling. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. You wake under a canopy so thick that sunlight barely filters through. The air is heavy, humid, pressing against your skin like a damp blanket. Insects buzz in waves. Birds screech overhead. Something howls in the distance, low and threatening. Your eyes open slowly, adjusting to the green-filtered darkness of the forest floor. You're in East Africa 10 million years ago, and you are barely surviving. You're small, smaller than you'd expect. Your body is light, built for climbing, not for fighting. Your arms are long and powerful, designed to swing through branches and grip bark. Your legs are shorter, awkward on the ground. You're somewhere between ape and human, though those words don't exist yet. You're just you, hungry, cautious, and very aware that everything around you is either food or trying to make you food. The forest is changing. You don't know it yet, but this is the beginning of the great drying. Climate shifts that will transform lush jungles into open woodlands, then savannas. The trees are thinning, the fruit is becoming scarce, and your kind, perfectly adapted to life in the canopy, is about to face a crisis. Your world is shrinking, the safe spaces are disappearing, and you have no idea what's coming. You stretch carefully, every joint aches. You slept in the crook of a tree, wedged between branches to avoid falling. It wasn't comfortable, but it kept you alive. Below, the forest floor is a dangerous place. Leopards hunt there. Snakes coil in the undergrowth. Even other primates, larger and more aggressive than you, patrol the territory with violence in their eyes. You climb down slowly, testing each branch. Your hands are incredible tools, fingers wrapping around bark with precision. Your feet grip almost as well. This is your advantage. In the trees, you're graceful, swift, nearly untouchable. On the ground, you're vulnerable. Every step is calculated. Every sound makes you freeze. Hunger drives you downward. The fruit in the upper canopy has been picked clean by others. Your group, what's left of it, scattered days ago when food became too scarce to share. You're alone now, and loneliness here isn't poetic. It's dangerous. There's safety in numbers, in watching eyes, in shared warnings. Without them, you're just another target. You spot movement ahead. Another primate, similar to you but not quite. Maybe a cousin species. Maybe a competitor. You both freeze, eyes locked. Neither of you moves for a long moment. Then slowly, carefully, you both retreat in opposite directions. There's no food worth fighting over today. Not yet. The forest floor is carpeted with dead leaves. They crunch under your feet no matter how carefully you step. Every crunch feels like an announcement. Here I am, come and get me. You scan constantly, head swiveling, eyes darting. A flash of movement to your left, you freeze. Just a bird, your heart hammers anyway. You find a fallen log, half rotted, covered in moss. You crouch beside it and begin pulling it apart with your fingers. Grubs, fat, white, wriggling. You pop them into your mouth one by one. Their protein, their calories, their survival. The taste is earthy, slightly bitter. You chew quickly and search for more. This is your life now, not the grand story of human triumph, not the march towards civilization. civilization, just this, digging for insects, avoiding predators, trying to make it to sunset, and hoping tomorrow brings something better. Historians still argue about what nearly killed us off 10 million years ago. Climate change. Absolutely. Competition from other species, definitely. Disease, starvation, predation, all of the above. But the truth is simpler and more terrifying. We were just unlucky. We lived in the wrong place at the wrong time, with the wrong body plan for the world that was coming. You move deeper into the forest, following the sound of water. Thirst is constant. Your mouth feels dry, your tongue thick. You need to drink. But water sources are gathering points for everything that's hungry. You approach carefully, crouching low, eyes scanning the clearing ahead. The stream is shallow, clear, running over smooth stones. You see no movement. That's not reassuring. It just means the predators are good at hiding. You wait, you watch. 5 minutes, 10, nothing. You dart forward, drop to your knees, and cup water to your mouth. It's cold, clean, perfect. You drink fast, too fast, and cough. The sound echoes. Silence, then a rustle. You're up and moving before your brain even registers the threat. Back into the trees, climbing fast, hands finding holds automatically. You don't look back until you're 3 branches up. Below, something large and striped moves through the clearing. It sniffs the air. It drinks from the same spot you just left. Then it disappears into the undergrowth like smoke. Your heart takes a long time to slow down. You find a thick branch and settle onto it, legs dangling back against the trunk. This is as close to rest as you'll get today. The canopy above is alive with sound. Monkeys chattering, birds calling, insects humming in endless waves. It's loud, but it's normal. Silence is what scares you. Silence means something is hunting. You think about your group, or you would if thinking was something you did in words. Instead, you just feel the absence, the empty space where others used to be. You remember grooming sessions, the gentle picking through fur, the quiet companionship. You remember shared meals, the way food tasted better when you weren't alone. You remember warnings, the sharp calls that meant danger, the way everyone moved as one. Now it's just you, and the loneliness sits in your chest like a stone. The day drags on. You forage slowly, moving from tree to tree, searching for anything edible. A cluster of berries, small and sour. A handful of seeds, tough and fibrous. A beetle, crunchy and forgettable. Nothing satisfies, everything just delays the inevitable. You're losing weight, your ribs are starting to show, your energy is fading. This is the trap. You need food to have energy to find food, but food is scarce, so you have less energy, so you find less food. It's a spiral, and you can feel yourself slipping down it. You watch the sun move across the sky through gaps in the canopy. Time is measured in light and shadow, in the angle of rays, in the cooling of air. You don't have names for hours or minutes. You just know that when the light turns golden, you need to find a sleeping spot. And when darkness comes, you need to be off the ground. The forest is changing around you in ways you can't articulate, but absolutely feel. There are fewer trees than there used to be. The spaces between them are wider. The undergrowth is different, drier, more brittle. When wind blows, it carries dust now, not just moisture. The world is opening up. And for a creature built for climbing, that's terrifying. You don't understand climate. You don't know about ice ages or tectonic shifts or atmospheric changes. You just know that fruit is harder to find. Water holes are drying up. The comfortable, predictable forest is becoming something else, something hostile, and you're not adapted for it. Not yet. A sound makes you freeze, hooting, close. You recognize it immediately. Another group of primates. Larger ones. Aggressive ones, the kind that see you as competition, or worse, as meat. You press yourself against the trunk, trying to become invisible. The hooting gets louder. They're moving through the canopy, swinging branch to branch, calling to each other. You don't breathe. They pass below you, maybe 5 or 6 of them. Big males with powerful shoulders and long canines. They're foraging, tearing apart branches, stuffing leaves into their mouths. One looks up. You lock eyes for a heartbeat. Then it looks away, dismissive. You're not worth the effort. Not today. You wait until they're gone, until the forest settles back into its normal chaos. Then you climb higher, needing distance, needing safety. Your arms burn with effort, your fingers ache, but you don't stop until you're near the top of the canopy where the branches are thin and the view is endless. From here, you can see the world spreading out in all directions. Forest, yes, but also clearings, grasslands in the distance, mountains on the horizon. The sky is vast, blue, indifferent. Clouds drift lazily. Somewhere out there, the future is waiting. Cities, technology, language, art. But from here, it looks impossible. It looks like the world belongs to someone else. You settle into a comfortable crook and close your eyes for just a moment, just a breath of rest. And in that moment you wonder, though not in words, not in conscious thought, just in the deep animal way of wondering, will I make it? Will any of us? The answer, of course, is that you will. Barely, against all odds, through luck and adaptation and sheer stubborn persistence. But you don't know that yet. Right now, you just know hunger and fear and the endless exhausting work of surviving one more day. Night comes fast, the temperature drops, you're shivering within minutes, your thin coat of hair does almost nothing. You curl into yourself, arms wrapped tight, chin tucked. The forest transforms after dark. New sounds emerge, screeches, howls, the crack of branches as something heavy moves below. You try not to imagine what's down there. Sleep comes in fragments. You drift off, jerk awake, drift again. Every sound is a potential threat. Every silence is suspicious. You've learned not to sleep deeply. Deep sleep is dangerous. Deep sleep gets you killed. Hours pass. The moon rises, casting silver light through the leaves. You open your eyes and watch it, transfixed. You don't know what it is. Just a bright thing in the sky, constant, reliable, somehow comforting. You stare at it until your eyes close again. Morning arrives with bird calls, sharp, insistent, layered over each other until the forest is ringing with sound. You stretch slowly. Everything hurts. Your muscles are stiff. Your stomach is a hollow ache. You need food. You need it badly. You climb down carefully, testing your weight on each branch. Halfway down, you spot something, a fruit tree. Not close, but visible through the thinning canopy, and it looks heavy with fruit. Your mouth waters instantly. You change direction, moving toward it, hope rising in your chest for the first time in days. You're not the only one who noticed. As you approach, you see them, a group, your group, or what's left of it. 4 individuals clustered around the base of the tree, reaching up, calling softly to each other. Your heart does something complicated. Relief, joy, and also fear, because groups have hierarchies, and you've been gone. You're an outsider now. You approach slowly, hands visible, posture non-threatening. One of them sees you, an older female. She stares. Then she makes a soft sound, not aggressive, not welcoming, just acknowledgement. You edge closer. Another individual, a young male, moves to block you. You stop. You wait. The standoff lasts forever and no time at all. Then the female makes a decision. She reaches up, grabs a fruit and tosses it toward you. It lands in the dirt between you, an offering or a test. You step forward carefully, pick it up and bite. It's sweet, ripe, perfect. You want to cry, you're allowed to stay, for now. The group resumes foraging. You join them, keeping distance, staying on the periphery, but you're not alone anymore, and that changes everything. There's safety here, shared vigilance. If one sees danger, all flee. If one finds food, all benefit. This is how you survive. Together, barely, but together. The day unfolds in familiar patterns. Foraging, grooming, resting in the shade. The group moves as a unit, loose but coordinated. You follow, grateful, cautious. You're still the newcomer, still proving yourself, but you're here, and that's enough. Historians still argue about when humans became truly social, when we developed language, culture, cooperation, but the seeds were here. 10 million years ago, in a small group of primates sharing fruit and watching each other's backs. We survived because we figured out, however dimly, that alone we were weak. Together we had a chance. You groom with the young male who blocked you earlier. His fur is thick, full of debris. You pick through it carefully, removing twigs and insects. He relaxes under your touch. This is bonding, this is communication, this is trust. When you're done, he grooms you in return. It feels incredible. The gentle pressure, the focused attention. For a moment, the world is safe, but safety is always temporary. The group hears it first. A low rumble, thunder maybe, or something else. Everyone freezes, eyes wide, ears straining. The rumble comes again, closer, then the ground shakes, just slightly, just enough to know something massive is moving nearby. The group explodes into motion. Everyone up, everyone climbing, fast and panicked. You're right behind them, heart pounding, hands grabbing branches without thinking. You climb until the branches are too thin to hold you. Then you stop, clinging, gasping. Below, through gaps in the leaves, you see it. Huge, ancient, a creature so large it makes the trees look small. It moves slowly, pulling leaves from branches with a trunk that seems impossibly long. An elephant ancestor, Dinotherium. It's not hunting you. It doesn't even notice you, but its presence is overwhelming. You watch in awe and terror as it feeds, strips a tree bare, and moves on. The ground shakes with each step. When it's finally gone, the forest seems smaller, quieter. You climb down slowly, legs shaking. The group settles again, but something has shifted. You all felt it, the reminder that this world belongs to the big things, the strong things. You're just trying to exist in the margins. Days blur together. You forage, climb, sleep, repeat. The group dynamics stabilize. You're part of them now. Not dominant, not peripheral, just one of the unit. You learn their rhythms, their calls, their preferences. You learn who to avoid when they're irritable and who shares food freely. You learn that survival isn't just about strength. It's about reading the room, knowing when to push and when to retreat. Food remains scarce. Some days are better than others. On good days, you find a tree heavy with figs, and everyone eats until their bellies are tight. On bad days, you chew bark and pretend it helps. The group is thinner now. Everyone is. Ribs visible, movements slower, but you're alive. And that's the only metric that matters. The forest continues to change. Each week, it seems, there are fewer trees, more clearings, more sunlight hitting the ground. Grasses are spreading, tall and golden. You watch them with suspicion. Grass is ground. Ground is danger. But the trees are disappearing. Soon, you'll have no choice. You don't know it, but you're watching the birth of the savannah, the ecosystem that will define human evolution, the place where we'll learn to walk upright, use tools, control fire. But right now, it just looks like the end of your world. One morning, the group wakes to find the nearest waterhole completely dry, just cracked mud and dead fish. Everyone panics. Water is life. Without it, you have days at most. The group needs to move. But where? No one knows. There are no maps, no plans, just instinct and hope. You travel through territory that's unfamiliar. The trees are sparse here, scattered across open ground. You hate it. Every step feels exposed. Your eyes scan constantly for threats. The group moves in tight formation, everyone close, everyone nervous. Hours pass. The sun climbs high and brutal. You're thirsty, desperately thirsty. Your tongue sticks to the roof of your mouth. Your head pounds. You see one of the younger members stumble. The older female helps them up. No one is left behind. Not today. Then you hear it. Water. The sound of running water. The group surges forward. Caution forgotten. You reach a river, wide and clear and beautiful. Everyone drinks. You submerge your whole face, gulping, gasping, gulping again. It's the best thing you've ever tasted. You stay by the river for days. It becomes a temporary home. There's water, fish if you're lucky and fast, and trees along the banks for sleeping. The group relaxes. There's even play. Young ones chase each other. Adults groom for longer. You feel something you haven't felt in weeks. Not quite happiness, but close. Of course, it doesn't last. Other groups find the river too. Competition increases. Tensions flare. There are standoffs, displays of aggression, brief, violent clashes. Your group holds its ground, but barely. You learn to forage at dawn and dusk, avoiding peak times when the river is crowded and tempers are short. One evening, you're fishing, hands plunged into the shallows, when you see something that changes everything. Another primate, but different, walking on two legs, upright, awkward but deliberate. It's carrying something, a stick, a tool. You can't tell from this distance. It sees you. You both freeze. Then it makes a sound, not a call you recognize, something new. It gestures with the stick. You don't understand. It doesn't matter. What matters is this. Change is happening. Evolution is happening. Right here, right now. Some of you are trying new things, walking differently, thinking differently, using tools. You're watching the future take its first shaky steps. The creature moves on. You return to fishing, but something has lodged itself in your mind. A question that isn't quite a question. A possibility that isn't quite formed. What if we didn't stay in the trees? What if we tried something else? You don't have answers. You just have the image of that upright walker, strange and unsettling, burned into your memory. Weeks pass. The group remains by the river, but resources are depleting. Too many mouths, not enough food. Conflicts increase. One morning, you wake to find the group has split. Half have moved upriver. The other half, including you, remain. It's a smaller group now, more vulnerable, but also more mobile. You travel light, following the river downstream, searching for untouched territory. The landscape opens up even more. Grasslands dominate. Trees are rare, precious. You cling to them when you find them. You close your eyes. Your breathing slows. The group settles around you, warm and present. You feel safe as anyone can feel in this world. And somewhere deep in your cells, in your DNA, is the future, coded and waiting, the potential for everything that comes next. You're a link in a chain that leads to something extraordinary, but you'll never know it. You'll just be this, a creature who survived, who adapted, who passed something forward. The night deepens, the forest breathes. And you, against all odds, are still here. Days continue. You wake, you forage, you climb, you rest. The routine is comforting. You're slower now, but you're valued. The group still welcomes you, still makes space for you in the sleeping tree. You notice more upright walkers. They're becoming common. Different groups are trying different strategies. Some stay in the trees, some move to the ground, some do both. Evolution is experimenting. Most experiments will fail, but some will succeed, and those will change everything. You watch them with curiosity, their strange gait, their free hands, the way they carry things over long distances. Part of you wants to try it, but you're too old. Too set in your ways. You'll stay in the trees. It's what you know. The young ones, though, they're curious. They practice walking upright. They wobble. They fall. but they keep trying, and each generation gets a little better, a little more balanced. This is how it happens. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just gradually. One small change building on another until suddenly you're something new. The group faces another crisis. Food runs out again, the river moves, the trees continue to thin. Every day is a negotiation with scarcity. You're constantly moving, constantly searching, constantly on the edge of not enough. One morning, you wake to strange sounds, not animal sounds, something else. You peer through the leaves and see smoke, actual smoke, rising from the grassland. Lightning strike, probably. The fire spreads fast, consuming dry grass, crackling and roaring. The group panics. Everyone climbs higher, watching the fire race across the landscape. It's terrifying, but also mesmerizing. The heat reaches you even in the trees. The smoke stings your eyes. But the fire clears the land, and in its wake, new growth will come. You don't understand this cycle yet. You just know fire means danger. But some members of the group are watching differently. They're curious. They're leaning forward, studying the flames. One young male even climbs down closer, drawn by something instinctive. He gets too close and screeches, retreating fast. But the curiosity remains. Fire will be crucial. It will protect you from predators, cook your food, keep you warm, but that's millions of years away. Right now, it's just a mystery wrapped in danger. The fire burns out. The group climbs down cautiously. The ground is black, warm, covered in ash. You step carefully, feeling the heat through your feet. It's unsettling. The familiar forest is gone, replaced by a scorched wasteland. But within days, green shoots appear. Grass grows faster here. Animals return, drawn by the new growth. The group finds more food than they've seen in weeks. It's a lesson, though you don't have the words for it. Destruction can lead to renewal. Death can lead to life. You spend weeks in this burned area, feasting on the abundance. Your body fills out. Your energy returns. Even your mood lifts. The group is healthier, happier. There's play again, laughter in the form of breathy sounds and tumbling wrestling matches. But good times never last. A rival group arrives, larger and more aggressive. They want this territory. They want this food. Conflict is inevitable. The confrontation happens at dawn. Both groups face off, making displays, shouting, chest beating, branch shaking. It's mostly theatre, designed to intimidate without actual fighting. But theatre sometimes fails. A young male from your group charges. The rival group responds. Within seconds, it's chaos. Bodies grappling, teeth bared, screams echoing. You stay back, too old for this. But you watch, heart pounding. The fight is brief but brutal. One of your group is badly injured. The rival group, seeing they have the advantage, presses forward. Your group retreats. You abandon the territory, moving quickly through the trees, carrying your injured member. It's a devastating loss. Not just the territory, but the confidence. Your group is smaller, weaker. The injured member slows you down. Resources are scarce again. The cycle continues. You travel for days, searching for a new home. You cross landscapes you've never seen, open plains where the grass is taller than you, dense thickets that tear at your skin, rocky outcrops where snakes sun themselves. Finally, you find a place. A grove of trees near a permanent water source. It's already occupied, but by a smaller, less aggressive group. There's a tense negotiation, all done through body language and vocalizations. Eventually, an uneasy truce is reached. You can stay, but only on the edges. It's not ideal, but it's survival. Your injured groupmate doesn't recover. The wound festers. Despite your attempts to clean it, they grow weaker, feverish. One morning, they don't wake up. The group mourns in their way, touching the body, making soft sounds. Then you move on, Death is always close. You've lost count of how many you've seen die. Predation, disease, injury, starvation. Each loss hurts, but you're becoming numb to it. You have to be. Grief is a luxury you can't afford. The seasons turn again. Dry season comes, harsher than usual. The water source shrinks. Animals congregate, making it dangerous to approach. The group rations, drinks quickly, retreats. Everyone is thirsty. Constantly thirsty. You watch vultures circle overhead. They're waiting. They always are. You wonder if they're waiting for you. The thought doesn't scare you as much as it should. You're tired, so tired, but you keep going because that's what you do. That's what all of you do. You wake up, you search for food, you avoid danger, you sleep, repeat. It's not glamorous. It's not noble, it's just existence. One day, you're foraging when you find something unusual. Bones. Not animal bones, primate bones, scattered across the ground, picked clean. You stare at them, trying to understand. These could be your bones. Will be your bones, eventually. You pick up a skull. It's light, fragile. The jaw is missing teeth. The eye sockets are empty. This was someone once. Someone who felt hunger and fear and hope. Now they're just calcium and memory. You set it down gently and move on. The group encounters another upright walker. This one is even more bipedal, more confident on two legs. It's carrying multiple objects bundled in large leaves, tools maybe. Food. It sees your group and stops. Both sides evaluate, no aggression, just curiosity. The walker approaches slowly. One of your group responds, moving forward cautiously. They meet in the middle. No words, no language, just presence. The walker offers something, a piece of root already peeled. Your group member takes it, examines it, eats it. It's a moment of connection across evolutionary paths. You're diverging, your species and theirs, but right now you're still similar enough to recognize each other as kin. The walker moves on, your group continues foraging, but something has shifted. You're seeing more of them now, these bipedal creatures. They're successful, they're spreading. And you're staying the same, or maybe shrinking. This is the bottleneck, the evolutionary moment where some lineages flourish and others vanish. You don't know which side you're on, you just know it's getting harder. Food becomes scarce again. The group is desperate. You try everything, digging deeper for roots, eating bark, consuming things you'd normally avoid. Your stomach rebels. You vomit. You try again. One evening, someone finds a carcass, freshly killed, barely touched. It's a gift from the universe or a trap. You approach carefully, no predator in sight. The group descends, tearing into the meat with hands and teeth. It's the first substantial food you've had in days. Blood covers your hands. The taste is rich, overwhelming. You eat until you can't move. Then you eat more, because who knows when the next meal will come. Scavenging becomes a regular practice. You follow vultures, you track predators, you wait for them to make a kill, then rush in when they're satisfied. It's dangerous. You lose members this way, but you gain calories. You're becoming more carnivorous. Your diet is changing. Your teeth, designed for fruit and leaves, struggle with meat, but you adapt. You use rocks to smash bones. You scrape hides. You find softer pieces to chew. This dietary shift is crucial. Meat provides concentrated energy. It fuels larger brains. But you don't know this. You just know meat stops the hunger for longer. The group grows bolder. You start following predators more closely, studying their patterns, learning their schedules. You become expert scavengers, timing your arrivals perfectly. But this brings you into contact with dangerous animals more often. Close calls increase. One member gets too bold, tries to steal from a feeding lion. The lion doesn't appreciate it. The attack is swift, brutal. Your group mate doesn't survive. The group becomes more cautious again. Balance is everything. Bold enough to eat, careful enough to survive. You notice your hands changing, or maybe you're just using them differently. You're manipulating objects more, carrying things, building primitive tools. Your brain is working in new ways, solving problems, planning ahead. You start caching food, hiding it in tree hollows for later. It's a revelation. Time suddenly has more dimensions: past, present, future. You can influence tomorrow by your actions today. Not everyone in the group does this, but you do, and those who copy you survive better. Natural selection in action. The ones who plan ahead, who think beyond the immediate, they're the ones who make it. The group encounters another challenge. A new predator has moved into the territory, something you've never seen before. Massive, low to the ground, with jaws that look like they could crush stone. It's a bear dog, Amphibian, and it's decided your area is now its hunting ground. The first attack comes at dawn. You're barely awake when the screaming starts. The creature has grabbed one of the young ones who ventured too far from the trees. The group erupts in chaos. Some flee higher, others throw branches and rocks. You freeze, caught between instincts. The young one is lost. The creature drags them away. The screaming stops. The group huddles together, silent, traumatized. No one sleeps that night, or the next. Fear has settled into your bones like a sickness. You have to move again. This territory is compromised. The group packs up what little they have and begins the migration. You're heading east now toward unfamiliar lands. The journey is hard, food is scarce, water is scarce, hope is scarce. You walk for days, your feet are raw, your body is exhausted. Some of the younger members are struggling. You help when you can, but you're barely managing yourself. This is what extinction feels like, not a dramatic event, just a slow grinding down, a gradual erosion of numbers until there's nothing left. But you don't give up. None of you do. Because giving up means death, and something deep in your biology refuses that option. You keep moving, one foot in front of the other, one day at a time. You cross into new territory. The landscape is different here, more volcanic. Rocky, steam vents dot the ground, hissing and sulphurous. The trees are strange, species you don't recognize. The animals are different too, bigger, more aggressive. You find a cave. It's not ideal, shared with bats and smelling of guano. But it's shelter, it's protection. The group settles in, exhausted. You sleep for what feels like days. When you wake, something has changed. You feel it in the air, a heaviness, a pressure. You step outside and look at the sky. It's dark, darker than it should be. Clouds are gathering, thick and black. Thunder rolls in the distance. A storm is coming. Not a normal storm, something massive. It hits that night. Rain like you've never experienced. Not drops, sheets. The wind howls, tearing at trees. Lightning strikes constantly, turning night into flickering day. The thunder is so loud it vibrates in your chest. The group huddles deeper in the cave. Water pours in. You're soaked, cold, terrified. The storm lasts for hours, then days. The world outside becomes a blur of rain and wind and chaos. When it finally stops, the landscape has transformed. Trees are down everywhere. The river has jumped its banks, creating new channels. Everything is mud and debris. You venture out cautiously. The sun is shining, but it feels wrong. Too bright, too harsh. Food is everywhere. Dead animals washed up on the new riverbanks. Fruit knocked from trees. It's a feast. The group eats greedily, gorging after days of hunger. But you know this abundance is temporary. The storm destroyed as much as it provided. You're right. Within weeks, resources start declining again. The destroyed forest is rotting. The smell is overpowering. Disease spreads. Insects swarm in clouds. Members of the group get sick, fevers, vomiting, weakness. You try to help. You bring water. You find clean food, but there's no medicine, no cure. You watch helplessly as they deteriorate. Some recover, others don't. The group shrinks again. You're down to just a handful now, 5, maybe 6. You can't remember how many you started with, 20, 30. The losses have blurred together, but the small size has advantages. You're mobile, quiet. You can survive on less. You adapt your strategy, focusing on stealth rather than confrontation. You become ghosts in the forest, barely leaving a trace. You develop new skills, better tool making, more efficient foraging patterns. Communication becomes more sophisticated. You're not using words, but you have a system. Different calls for different threats, gestures that convey complex ideas. You're on the edge of something revolutionary, though you don't know it. One member of the group is exceptional. Young, female, incredibly observant. She notices patterns others miss. She remembers where food was found weeks ago. She predicts where animals will be. She's smarter and everyone knows it. You watch her with something like awe. She represents the next step, the cognitive leap that will define the human lineage. She's not just surviving, she's thinking, planning, innovating. She's the one who discovers fire can be controlled. Not created, you're not there yet, but controlled. After a lightning strike, instead of fleeing, she watches. She sees how the fire behaves, where it goes, what it avoids. She takes a burning branch and brings it back to the group. Everyone is terrified. Fire is danger. Fire is death. But she's patient. She shows them the warmth, the light, how it keeps predators away. Slowly, the group accepts it. They keep the fire burning, feeding it carefully, guarding it like treasure. This changes everything. Nights are no longer just about survival. You can see, you can stay warm, you can gather around the flames and feel something like community. The fire becomes the center of your world. Quirky fact: early hominids might have maintained fires for generations without knowing how to start them. Fire was precious, kept alive constantly, because letting it die meant waiting for another lightning strike. You're living this reality now. The fire tender is the most important job in the group. If the fire dies, you return to darkness. You take your turn watching the flames. It's mesmerizing, the way they dance, the way they transform wood into light and heat and ash. You don't understand combustion or oxidation, you just know it's magic. The fire attracts attention, both good and bad. Other groups come, curious, some are friendly, wanting to share the warmth. Others are aggressive, wanting to steal the fire. You defend it fiercely. This is yours. This is survival. One night, a large predator approaches, eyes gleaming in the darkness beyond the firelight. The group tenses, but the predator doesn't attack. It circles, stays at the edge of the light, then retreats. The fire has protected you. For the first time, you're not just prey, you have power. This realization is profound. You're not completely helpless. You have tools. You have fire. You have each other. You have a chance. The seasons continue their cycle. Dry, wet, dry, wet. Each one brings new challenges, but you're learning, adapting. The group develops routines, traditions. When someone dies, you cover them with leaves. When someone is born, you gather around. These aren't rituals exactly, but they're the beginning of culture. You're older now, much older. Your hair is greying, your movements are stiff. You're not sure how many years you've survived. 10? 15? It's more than most. You're becoming a rarity, an elder, a repository of knowledge. The young ones watch you, they learn from you. How to read weather, where to find water during drought, which plants are medicinal. You're teaching though you don't have a concept for teaching. You're just showing, and they're absorbing. One day, you're too weak to climb. Your arms shake. Your legs won't support you. The group adapts. They bring you food. They keep you close to the fire. They protect you. Because you're valuable, not for what you can do anymore, but for what you know. This is compassion. This is humanity, caring for those who can't care for themselves. It's not universal in the animal kingdom, but it's emerging here in your small group 10 million years ago. You spend your days by the fire watching the world. The young ones bring you stories in their way. They show you things they've found, new tools, strange rocks, dead animals. You examine them, make approving or disapproving sounds. You're still contributing. The smart female, now fully grown, sits with you often. She asks questions through gesture and expression. You answer as best you can. There's a bond here, mentor and student. Though those words don't exist yet, she's pregnant. You can tell by the way she moves, the way she protects her belly. New life is coming. The group is excited. Births are rare, precious. So many things can go wrong. When the time comes, you're there, not helping directly, but present. The labor is long, difficult. You remember your own births, the pain, the fear, but also the joy, the overwhelming rush of connection when you first saw your offspring. The baby arrives, tiny, wrinkled, screaming, perfect. The group gathers around, touching gently, making soft sounds. This is hope. This is future. This is why you've survived. You look at the infant and feel something profound. This child will never know you. By the time they're old enough to remember, you'll be gone. But your knowledge, passed through the smart female, will reach them. You're a link in a chain that extends in both directions. Back to the past, forward to the future. The baby grows, strong, curious, quick to learn. You watch their development with quiet satisfaction. They're better adapted than you were, smarter, more capable, evolution in action. You're fading now. You can feel it. Your body is shutting down piece by piece. You don't fight it. You're ready. You've done what you came to do. You survived. You passed knowledge forward. You contributed to the next generation. One evening, as the sun sets and the fire crackles, you close your eyes. The group is around you, warm, safe. You can hear them breathing, moving, living. You feel content. This is enough. Your breathing slows, the sounds fade, the warmth remains, and then nothing. The group mourns. They sit with your body through the night. In the morning, they cover you with branches and leaves. It's not burial, not quite, but it's respect. It's acknowledgement. You mattered. Then they move on. Because life continues. It always does. Your bones will decay. In 10 million years, nothing of you will remain. No fossils, no artifacts, no evidence you ever existed. You'll be completely forgotten, as if you never were. But you were. And in a way, you still are. Because that infant, that next generation, carries something of you. Not memories, but patterns, learned behaviors, cognitive frameworks. The knowledge you pass to the smart female, who passed it to others, who will pass it to the baby. You're in their DNA, yes, but you're also in their culture, such as it is, in the way they use tools, in the way they maintain fire, in the way they care for their elders. These things didn't come from nowhere. They came from individuals like you who lived and struggled and learned and taught. This is how we survived. Not through dramatic heroism, not through individual genius, but through countless small acts of persistence. Through knowledge shared, through communities that cared for each other, through adaptation and stubbornness and sheer refusal to disappear. We nearly went extinct 10 million years ago. The conditions were terrible, the odds were against us. Most of our lineages did die out, but some survived, just barely, just enough. And those survivors, through luck and adaptation, became us. You were one of them. A nobody, a forgotten link. But an essential one. Without you, without millions like you, there's no human story, there's no civilization, there's no us. So here's the answer to the question, why didn't we go extinct 10 million years ago? Because of individuals like you, who woke up every day and chose survival, who adapted when the world changed, who cared for each other, who passed knowledge forward, who refused to give up even when giving up seemed like the only logical option. You're the reason we're here. All of us. Every human who ever lived owes their existence to countless forgotten ancestors who survived against impossible odds, who lived in the margins, who made it through one more day, one more season, one more generation. Your name is lost, your face is forgotten, your bones are dust, but your legacy is everything. Every city, every book, every discovery, every moment of human connection traces back to you and those like you. The ones who survived when survival seemed impossible. So as this journey ends and we return to the present, carry this knowledge with you. You are the descendant of survivors, of adapters, of the stubborn, the clever, the compassionate, the ones who looked at extinction and said, "Not today." And when your life feels hard, when the odds seem impossible, when you're not sure you can make it through, remember them. Remember that you carry within you the genetic legacy of millions who faced worse and survived, who had no tools, no knowledge, no safety net, just will, just determination, just hope. You come from survivors, and survival is in your blood. Let your shoulders relax, let your breathing slow, let the weight of this knowledge settle gently. You are here because of an unbroken chain of life stretching back millions of years. Every link in that chain faced extinction, and every link refused it. You are the continuation of that refusal. You are the inheritor of that stubbornness. You are the living proof that survival is possible, even when it seems impossible. The ancient forest is gone. The creatures that inhabited it are dust, but something of them remains in you, in the way you think, in the way you connect, in the way you refuse to give up. You are their future, and they would be amazed. But let's go back to that river. Back to that moment when everything could have ended differently, because the story isn't over yet. There's more you need to see, more you need to understand about how close we came to vanishing forever. The group by the river, the one you left behind when you died, continues. They're struggling. The smart female with the infant is doing her best, but leadership is hard. Resources are depleting. The fire nearly goes out twice. Panic sets in each time. They manage to save it, barely, by rushing to transfer embers to dry grass before the last flame dies. Other groups are moving into the area. The competition is fierce. There are skirmishes now, almost daily. Posturing, threats, sometimes violence. The group is outnumbered. They're being pushed out of their territory, away from the good foraging spots, away from the reliable water sources. They retreat to the margins, the places no one else wants. Rocky slopes, thorny thickets, areas where food is scarce and danger is high. They're surviving, but barely. The infant is growing, but slowly. Malnutrition is evident in everyone. Ribs showing, movements lethargic. This is the reality of 10 million years ago. You're not competing against just predators and climate. You're competing against your own kind, against cousin species, against other groups of the same species. Everyone wants the same resources, and there aren't enough to go around. The smart female makes a decision, a radical one. She leads the group away from the river entirely. Away from all the competition, into unknown territory. It's a gamble. They might find abundant resources, or they might find nothing and starve. They walk for days. The landscape changes, becomes drier, more open. The trees are scattered, sparse. This is full savanna now, and you, as a primarily arboreal species, are out of your element. Every instinct screams danger, exposure, vulnerability. But the smart female persists. She's seen the upright walkers thriving in these areas. If they can do it, maybe her group can too. It's not a conscious thought, not a reasoned plan, just intuition, just desperate hope. They find a cluster of acacia trees near a seasonal stream. It's not much, but it's something. They settle in. The adjustment is brutal. The heat is intense. Shade is limited. Water is unpredictable. Food is different, tougher, requiring more processing. But they adapt. They have to. They spend more time on the ground. Their legs strengthen. Their posture shifts. They're not fully bipedal, but they're moving in that direction, not through choice, but through necessity. The trees can't support them anymore. The ground is the only option. They develop new foraging strategies, following animal herds, scavenging more aggressively, using tools more creatively. The rocks aren't just for cracking nuts anymore. They're for digging deep roots, for scraping hides, for defense. One day, they encounter a group of true bipeds, not the awkward early walkers, but something more advanced. These creatures are taller, more confident, carrying sophisticated tools. There's a tense moment of evaluation. Two species, related but diverging, meeting on the savannah. No violence, just observation. The bipeds move on. They're not threatened by this small, struggling group. You're not competition. Not really. You're a curiosity at best, an evolutionary dead end at worst. The smart female watches them go. Something shifts in her expression. Determination, maybe, or defiance. You're not done yet. You're not extinct yet. The seasons turn. Dry season hits hard. The stream dries up completely. The group has to range further for water. They find a waterhole shared by dozens of species. Elephants, rhinos, antelopes, predators. It's dangerous, but it's necessary. They develop a system. Scout first, watch, wait for a clear moment, dash in, drink fast, retreat. It works most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. They lose another member to a crocodile. Ancient, massive, patient. It was waiting in the murky water. One moment the group is drinking, the next someone is gone, just ripples and red water. The group shrinks to 4, the smart female, her infant, now a toddler and 2 others. 4 individuals. That's all that's left of what was once a thriving group of 20 or 30. This is what a population bottleneck looks like. This is how species die, but they don't die. Not yet. They persist, stubborn, resourceful, lucky. They find a termite mound and learn to fish for insects with sticks. It's tedious work, but it's reliable calories. They develop a taste for it. The behavior spreads. The toddler is growing up in a different world than you did. No abundant fruit. No safe canopy. Just open grassland and constant vigilance. But the toddler is thriving in ways you never could. More bipedal. More tool-dependent, more cognitively flexible. The environment is shaping them, forcing adaptations that will echo through millions of years. One evening, lightning strikes a dead tree near their camp. It bursts into flames. The group's fire, carefully maintained for months, has been dwindling. They've been struggling to keep it alive. This is a gift, a second chance. The smart female does something remarkable. She approaches the burning tree, not with just one branch, but several. She lights multiple branches, distributes them among the group. Now they each carry fire. Redundancy, insurance against loss. It's brilliant. They return to camp with their flames and build up the central fire larger than it's been in weeks. The warmth is incredible. The light pushes back the darkness. For the first time in a while, the group feels something like security. That night, they sleep deeply. The fire keeps predators away, keeps the cold at bay, keeps hope alive. In the morning, they wake refreshed, energized, ready to continue the fight, but the world isn't done testing them. A drought sets in. Not a normal dry season, something worse. Months without rain. The waterhole shrinks daily. Animals congregate in desperate numbers. The competition is insane. Predators are everywhere, picking off the weak. The group can barely get to the water. When they do, it's brown, thick with sediment and waste. They drink anyway. There's no choice. Within days, everyone is sick. Diarrhea, vomiting, fever. They're dying. The smart female is hit hardest. She's weak, dehydrated, barely conscious. The toddler stays close, bringing her water, touching her face. The others try to help, but they're struggling too. This might be the end. After everything, after all the adaptation and persistence, they might die from contaminated water. But the rains come, just in time, sudden, torrential, transforming the landscape overnight. The group lies in the rain, mouths open, drinking the clean water falling from the sky. It's salvation. Recovery is slow, but they recover. The smart female survives. The toddler survives. They all survive against odds that should have killed them. Because sometimes survival is just about timing, about lasting long enough for conditions to change. The land rebounds. Grass grows thick. Animals return. Food is abundant again. The group rebuilds strength. They're still only 4, but they're alive, and alive is enough. They encounter another small group. 3 individuals, also struggling, also on the edge. There's a moment of tension. Will they fight, compete? But the smart female makes a different choice. She approaches slowly, hands visible, non-threatening. She offers food, a gesture of peace. The other group accepts. Tentatively, they merge. Now they're 7. 7 individuals is better than 4. More eyes watching for danger, more hands gathering food, more genetic diversity, more chance of survival. This merged group becomes something new. They're not just related individuals anymore. They're a coalition, a community formed by choice. Not just kinship. It's a subtle shift, but profound. This is the seed of larger social structures, of tribes, of civilizations. They develop more complex communication, still no language, but more varied vocalizations, more nuanced gestures. They're coordinating in ways that weren't possible before. Hunting strategies become more sophisticated. They can plan, assign roles, execute complex maneuvers. They successfully hunt their first large animal, not a scavenge, an actual hunt. They tracked a young antelope, separated it from the herd, and brought it down using coordinated effort and thrown rocks. It's a watershed moment. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. The group grows, new members join. Births happen. Suddenly, they're 15 individuals, then 20. They're becoming a significant presence in the area. Other groups take notice. Some are friendly, others hostile, but the group holds its own. The toddler, now a juvenile, is exceptional, faster learner than anyone. Better toolmaker, more socially adept. They're emerging as a leader despite their youth. The smart female watches with pride. This is her legacy. This is what she fought for. Years pass. The group migrates seasonally now, following resources, avoiding conflicts, always moving. They've learned the rhythms of the land, where to be and when. It's not random anymore, it's strategy. They encounter a group of the advanced bipeds again. This time, the interaction is different. Less observation, more curiosity. The bipeds approach. Both groups study each other. Tools are examined, vocalizations exchanged. There's no shared language, but there's communication. The bipeds move on. But something has been shared. Knowledge, techniques, ideas. This is cultural exchange across species. It will accelerate evolution for both groups. The group starts experimenting with new tool types. Sharper edges, better grips, specialized functions. They're not just using tools, they're designing them, thinking about form and function. This is cognition on a new level. They also start decorating. Nothing elaborate, just scratches on bones, arrangements of colored stones. It serves no survival function. It's just aesthetic, just expression. This is art, the first glimmers of symbolic thinking. The smart female is old now, very old. She's lived longer than almost anyone. She's seen the group transform from 4 desperate individuals to a thriving community of 30. She's seen adaptations happen in real time. She's been part of something extraordinary. She sits by the fire one evening, surrounded by children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The group has grown, diversified, become resilient. She's done her part, more than her part. She's ensured the continuation of the line. She closes her eyes and lets the warmth of the fire wash over her. She's content, deeply, profoundly content. She survived, she adapted, she led, and her people are still here, still fighting, still refusing extinction. Her breathing slows. The fire crackles. The group continues their evening routines, unaware that she's slipping away. When they notice, they gather. They touch her gently. They make soft sounds of mourning. Then they sit with her through the night. In the morning, they bury her, not just covering with leaves this time, actual burial. A hole dug specifically for this purpose. Her body placed carefully, stones arranged on top. This is ritual, this is ceremony, this is culture. The group mourns for days, then they move on. Because they have to, because survival doesn't pause for grief. But they remember, they carry her with them, in their techniques, in their strategies, in their determination. This group will continue. They'll face more challenges, more near extinctions, more moments where one wrong choice means oblivion. But they'll persist through ice ages and droughts and predators and disease. Through competition and conflict and catastrophe, they'll persist because that's what they do. That's what we do. We're survivors, adapters, persisters. We've been facing extinction for millions of years, and we've refused it every single time. Fast forward, not 10 million years, just 1 million. The descendants of this group have changed. They're taller, more bipedal, larger brains, better tools, more complex societies. They're not the same species anymore. They've evolved, adapted, become something new, but the core remains. The stubbornness, the resourcefulness, the social bonds, the refusal to give up. These traits forged 10 million years ago in a desperate fight for survival persist. They define the lineage. Fast forward again, 100,000 years ago. Now the descendants look almost human. They have language, article, religion, technology. They're spreading across the globe, colonizing new environments, still adapting, still surviving. The bottleneck 10 million years ago could have ended everything. One bad season, one successful predator, one contaminated water source. Any of these could have killed that group of 4, could have ended the line, could have prevented humanity from ever existing. But it didn't happen. They survived, and their survival echoes forward through time. Every human who ever lived traces back to survivors like them, to individuals who refused extinction when extinction seemed inevitable. You carry that refusal in your DNA, in your psychology, in your behavior patterns. When you face challenges, when you adapt, when you persist despite impossible odds, you're channeling millions of years of survivor instinct. You're honoring ancestors who fought for your existence before you were even a possibility. This is the answer to why we didn't go extinct. Not destiny, not superiority, just stubbornness, just adaptation, just communities that cared for each other and refused to disappear, just individuals who woke up each day and chose to keep going. It wasn't inevitable. We're not here because we were supposed to be. We're here because countless individuals across millions of years in countless desperate situations survived. One more day, one more generation, one more evolutionary step. We're the product of their determination, their luck, their love for each other, their hope for a future they'd never see. Every breath you take is a testament to their struggle. Every moment of your existence is built on their foundation. So when things get hard, when you're not sure you can continue, when extinction, metaphorical or otherwise, seems imminent, remember them. Remember that you come from stock that has survived worse. That has adapted to conditions you can't imagine. That has persisted through challenges that would break species. You are built for survival. It's in your code. It's in your heritage. You're the descendant of the ones who didn't give up. The ones who looked at impossible odds and kept going anyway. The ones who refused extinction again and again and again across millions of years. That strength is yours. That stubbornness is yours. That refusal is yours. Use it, honor it, pass it forward. Because the story isn't over. The fight for survival continues. Every generation faces its own extinctions, its own challenges, its own moments of desperation, and every generation has a choice. Give up or persist. Your ancestors chose persistence. Every single one of them, an unbroken chain of choice stretching back 10 million years. You're here because of those choices, because of that persistence. What will you choose? The night is quiet now. The fire has burned down to embers. The stars are bright overhead, the same stars your ancestors watched, wondering what they were, feeling small beneath their vastness. But you're not small. You're the inheritor of an epic story, a story of survival against impossible odds. Let that knowledge settle into your bones. Let it fill you with strength. Let it remind you that you're capable of more than you think, because you come from survivors. And survival is what you do best. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of history, the millions who came before, the struggles they endured, the love they shared, the hope they held. You're the fulfillment of that hope. You're the reason they kept going. Honor them by living, by adapting, by persisting, by refusing extinction in whatever form it takes in your life, by being stubborn enough to keep going when going seems impossible. You're the continuation of a story 10 million years in the making. Don't underestimate yourself. You're made of stronger stuff than you know. Good night.